Hello, welcome everyone to the Story Trading Weekly Meetup. It's August 29th, 2021. We got two guests tonight, Michael Cook making his inaugural presentation to the community. Very excited about it. And Aaron Warwick has been here many times, who's presenting a stock as well. Just a reminder, Story Trading is not an investment advisor. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. This recording will be made available to our VIP members, and parts of it or possibly in whole will show up on the social media in the future. What's in a story trade? Story trading is the art of understanding market pricing through the lens of the four pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. We have an upcoming app, which will be the place to discover, collaborate, and validate market-moving information through crowdsourced research and social collaboration. If you haven't already done so, please go to storytrading.com to sign up for our private beta release, which is coming soon. Picks that are presented on Zoom, our weekly meetups, are going to be tracked. We're going to track the performance as VIP picks. So it's going to be on an embargo, this information, for about a week. So next week, we're going to post these two stocks to our spreadsheet so the rest of the world can track how we do. So with that, we have Michael Cook is going to be presenting a stock called Good Gaming Inc., GMER, last trade 28 cents. $22 million market cap. Before I turn it over to you, Michael, I will just want to show everyone the chart. And, the ultimate goal here is to understand the story behind this trade. What happened here historically, and with that understanding of what happened historically, we can have a better idea of how the stock will react or how it will anticipate events going into the future. So that's the ultimate goal. And we're going to try to learn that information by digging down into fundamentals, sentiment, catalysts, and technicals. So Michael, I'll advance the slides for you. We're going to start with an overview. Take it away.
Okay, so what we have here is a highly speculative over-the-counter gaming stock with no revenue or cash reserves. On the other hand, it has a low float, no toxic debt, and it's current on its SEC filings. Some of you may be wondering how this is possible. What, if any, might be the ingredient for success, and why are we here? Well, I think, and from my point of view, it's a captivating story and an ideal candidate for collaborative research. Any gamers here? It would be great if I could interest some of you to actually join in the game and provide feedback in the collaborative research that follows, possibly. Then I'll talk about the current and trending macro environment, the upcoming catalyst, their now new flagship game, MICROBUDDIES, is set to launch by the third quarter, so in the next 4 weeks. Talk about the key personnel and why you want to get to know who they are. We'll talk about the stock fundamentals. I have it in quotes because, in my view, the traditional metrics or evaluation criteria are either non-existent or they require a different lens to see their value. So right to the sentiment macro environment, I see it as extremely positive, and here's why. GMER is one of the few publicly traded companies dedicated to this space, and that's important because the CEO has stated they are open to a reverse merger. And I put Doppler Labs in parentheses and a question mark because they're associated with the game Axie Infinity, which is has Mark Cuban as a high-profile investor. It's a private company, so they may or may not be open to a reverse merger. And it touts that it has over 250,000 users, and 40% of those are in the Philippines. Now, can you go back a second there? Now to the salient point, which is that it's all over the news that their transaction volume, which was 755 million in June, increased to 35 billion in July. And if anybody finds that too hard to believe, the link is at the bottom of the page, and you can read the articles yourself. Okay, let's go forward. Thank you. So to the launch, the catalyst. It's on schedule for the end of the third quarter. The development and beta test is complete or nearly complete. The documentation is awaiting legal review. It's already pre-sold 1,979 of the 2,500 Generation Zero NFTs as of today. And the two links below, the Buddies notifier, if you click on that later on, it'll give you an exact update of how many remain. And the link underneath it is the actual source from where that information is taken from. It's on the Ethereum, I should say, Ethereum network, which acts as a spreadsheet, sort of a ledger of all the transactions everywhere for permanent recording. Then on August 13th, there was a partnership announced with Blockchain App Factory. They're a large worldwide network of 300 blockchain crypto professionals and they've completed 160 worldwide projects. And let's see what else.
Ready?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, let's go forward. So here's their website of blockchain app factory. They're, as it says, they're a blockchain technology solution and services provider. What stood out to me when I first saw it was that those the white header line above, the number of subcategories that are apparently within their expertise. And then next slide, please. Under NFTs, they had 30 more or 30 plus more. And in particular, this one stood out, which was, or as it states, NFT marketplace like Axie Infinity. So apparently, Axie Infinity has its, set a new standard for other people to try and emulate. And next slide. And why not? With their unbelievable, astonishing success. So here is another, or within the category on appfactory.com, is a paragraph to define the breakthrough in the NFT market as defined by Axie Infinity. And I'm going to read the paragraph, but substitute MICROBUDDIES, which is GMER's proposed game, and read it, and you'll have a good idea of what their game is going to be about. So MICROBUDDIES is a blockchain-based digital game that focuses on battle-style play. This game is a battle-based game where players can collect, breed, and train pets, in this case, MICROBUDDIES, also known as MICROBUDDIES for their respective battles. The MICROBUDDIES presented in the game are represented as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. So when players win a battle or complete a task, they are rewarded with cryptocurrencies, which can then be traded in any decentralized exchange platform. This is also a multifunctional game. It not only functions as a game, but it also functions as a social network platform. That gives a good overall description of what their game is going to be like. So let's move on. Generally speaking, I should have added. Now this is the third notable subtopic underneath on the App Factory website. And what it does is list two possible marketplace solutions. The one on the left is more of a turnkey, although wide range of customizations. On the one on the right, on the bottom line, you see it says this solution is very suitable for business models with long-term business plans. So I don't know anything tangible. Nothing's been announced publicly, but I believe that's the one they're going with because the game developer who has his own or communicates fairly regularly on the social media networks has stated that he has other plans, and we'll go into those as we go forward here. So this is their new, this has come out very recently. I believe their marketing initiative has already started. And this is a new graphic depicting the various, there are 10 in total, the MICROBUDDIES genome, well, not their genome, but their diverse population spectrum. And you'll see in red there, it says, it gives the microbuddies.io link, so you can subsequently go and find more information. At the bottom, it has claim your generation 0 MICROBUDDIES. So next slide.
I got three slides here that look the same. Was there some sort of animation that was supposed to come here?
Can you go to the next one?
That's what I got next.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
So claim your generation Z MICROBUDDIE. What does that mean? There were, I mentioned previously, there were 2,500 that were going to be sold, original generation 0 NFTs. And those who purchase tokens will be able to synthesize those NFTs into your initial MICROBUDDIE your initial MICROBUDDIES properties. And you'll see on the left, again, the buddies notifier. See on the top left there in blue. It would state if you went there now, 979 are sold, and so 521 remain. So anybody that's interested in purchasing one of the initial NFTs, you'll have a huge advantage, but after the 521 remaining are gone, that's it. I mean, it's not it. I mean, you can still join the game, but you won't be able to, you won't have any of the initial generation 0 MICROBUDDIES, and you'll, which will produce the most goo. And we'll talk about what goo is next. So next slide, please. Okay, so here are some of the unique game facts for MICROBUDDIES. In other words, what will differentiate MICROBUDDIES from Axie Infinity, or their game called Crypto Kitties. So starting off, MICROBUDDIES produce their own goo, which is their own unique cryptocurrency during gameplay. Now, why is this so important? Well, if the game becomes successful, the goo within the game, which represents the currency, the financing, the worth of the game in monetary terms will increase as well, just like other cryptocurrencies go up in value as their worth increases. So keep that in mind. There are 10 different MICROBUDDIE species with their own traits and features. Players spend goo to replicate their MICROBUDDIES with better production traits. The goo per day, GPD production, is tied to the rarity of your MICROBUDDIES traits. The GPD is factored by up to 10 times relative to total goo supply, plus or minus the distance from 100 billion peg. So in other words, this is part of the game to leverage the production in the beginning. So another reason why you want to have a generation 0 NFT, because you'll be part of the huge goo production as it scales up to 100 billion. But as it starts exceeding that, the factor will probably go negative to keep inflation from setting in and reduce the currency levels back down near or towards 100 billion. So going on, mutations are even more productive than exalted traits. And another interesting, but they have limited replications before becoming barren. So therefore, better traits are a significant advantage, and why you want to spend goo to improve the trait genome of your MICROBUDDIES. And, after all, this is a battle. It's a game, it's a battle, and everybody has a chance, but some will play better than others and make more money. Okay, next slide. Okay, key gaming personnel. You're all going to want to get to know Douglas Fluxty Wathan. His Twitter handle is it's Fluxty. He's the lead developer of MicroBuddies. He's a successful entrepreneur, visionary game aficionado, and competitor. I put that together. I didn't just copy that. And it's based on the fact that he sold his Club Penguin 2 million daily active users website to Disney at age 12. He's still a young man. He's probably early 20s still. He was recruited by Good Gaming to head their flagship Minecraft game. He sees blockchain tech is capable of reshaping every aspect of our lives. I put in these quotes, which I pulled from various places, because I think it indicates the level of his relationship to gaming, developing gaming, his commitment to it, and ultimately that he inspires the confidence in our belief that the game will be a success.
Sorry, 1 second. I lost the coming right back up here. All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we can go on. This is an hour-long interview, an Ask Me Anything interview. It's the link is up at the top there in yellow, which you can watch later. I suggest you do. It's entertaining as well as extremely informative. Jenny from Blockchain on the right is the one who acts as the interviewer. She comes off as a little ditty at first, cheerleading wise, but in short order, you'll discover that she's quite capable and knowledgeable herself. And Fluxty on the left, I think you'll be astonished at the expansiveness of his knowledge of all things gaming, the psychology of gaming, cryptocurrencies, and way beyond. So enjoy if you see it. Next, please. Stock fundamentals, as I mentioned before, can you put the whole screen up? Thank you. It's an overview of counter stock, no revenues over multiple years, and no cash reserves. However, as I said, their SEC filings are current. Their latest was on the latest 10Q was on 8/17 a couple of weeks ago. It's a clean capital structure with less than 75 million shares, no toxic debt. The CEO, David Dorward, is also CEO of Iowan Services, a group of private companies. So within his group, GMER is the only stock that is publicly traded. He's a serial entrepreneur. His umbrella of businesses provides management services that cover all disciplines in a typical business. They generate 150 million in revenues yearly and growing rapidly. It provides low-cost financing and business support to ensure good gaming success. It purposely kept GMER's SEC filings current as a potential acquisition vehicle. And he mentioned one point or another that he sees MicroBuddies as a highly scalable 50 million per year revenue in a couple of years. So next slide.
1 second, Michael. I'm
okay.
taking an important note on this one. I'm going to ask you. This is a good slide. All right. We'll come back to this in the Q&A. Cool.
We'll cover it again going forward. The This is a quick view of their homepage, Good Gaming website. Next. This is recently updated. Normally, previously they had no reason for an investor relations page, but apparently they think they do now. Minecraft servers was their previous legacy game, and we'll want to talk about that because it's still active and it's ranked very high. And MICROBUDDIES and cryptocurrencies are new additions. Next. This is the homepage of their investor relations, and I mean, the graphics I think are wonderful, even if it's a bit untraditional. So that's all I had to say about this. Next slide. This was a description of their company previously. It can read through that paragraph on the bottom. It says somewhere in there, it's determined to become a go-to place where gamers can learn what is currently happening in the esports world. Basically what it's saying is their focus has been historically on serving the gamers. Their focus and their priority is on the gamers, and I believe that they're retaining that focus in their upcoming game, and I believe it will serve them well, because if the gamers succeed, the game will as well. And finally, at the bottom there, it says, in addition, Minecraft server that is top tier ranked, which I mentioned, but we'll cover that on the next slide. This is a screenshot of their ranking on Twitch tracker. You'll see on the far right corner, it's ranked number 4, which would be ahead of Fortnite and CryptoKitties and hundreds of others. So at one time, they had a 700,000 user base. I believe it's still intact or nearly intact. And FluxD has mentioned that his goal is if and when, or when MicroBuddies succeed, he wants to incorporate Goo, their cryptocurrency created in MicroBuddies. He wants to integrate Goo into their Minecraft game. So imagine that down the line with the built-in player audience. Okay, next slide. Oh, there's a link at the bottom of that if anybody wants to view that later on. So this is a picture of the CEO of VIA1 Services. You notice his name, CEO and chairman, but right underneath that it says Good Gaming Inc. So he's and below, I want to point out the first line. He's the co-founder and chairman currently of VIA1 Services. So this is important. So next slide. These are Dominic Fontana and Jordan Axe, director and treasurer, also both of Good Gaming, as noted to the right of their pictures. And also below, they both note that they're currently on the right, currently director of marketing at VIA1 Services, and on the left, he's vice president of finance for the company and VIA1 Services. So what we have here is the head, the forefront, the leadership of Good Gaming, also at the front of 150 million per year private company. Okay, next slide. A little more on their private company, VIA1. It's a collection of industry experts. Their motto is they accelerate your business performance with guidance from specialists in your industry. 50 from experience within nearly 50 different industries. So let's continue. Below are some of their features, services, data and analysis services, customer acquisition and retention, accounting and finance, brand identity, warehouse and inventory management, all the things that a company needs to survive, but GMER doesn't have, but yet they have them. Again, this is their leadership team, same pictures, but coming from a different website, not Good Gaming anymore. That was from, if I notice at the top, File One Services, okay? Just want to bring that to your attention. These are Good Gaming's SEC filings. You notice they're up to date as of August 14th, June 30th, 2021. You can take a look at those at your own leisure. Next slide. Again, the link is at the top. Here is a screenshot of their OTC QB certification application. You notice it was filed at the bottom right, August 19th, 2021. Number 3, it says their company profile is current and complete as of June 1st, 2021. So they're up to date and a viable over-the-counter company looking to be uplisted to the QB imminently, as far as I can tell. Okay, next. This is a graphic of their shares. Still nominal for an over-the-counter stock, 70 million, and like I've been saying repeatedly, 0 revenues thus far. Next. This is current, this point and figure or candlestick chart is current as of Friday. Looks like it's forming some sort of wedge, could be symmetrical or what have you. If it breaks out, it breaks out, and if it breaks down, I see support maybe below 20 cents, 17, 18 cents. There's also support at the 200-day daily moving average. You'll see in red there at about 12.5 cents. All-time high, certainly recently, is around 75 cents. Full disclosure, I have a position, nothing too crazy. It's slightly below where we are now, my average price. Question and answer.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that presentation, Michael. Fascinating. I actually didn't know, I didn't get a chance to really look at your presentation in depth. I knew it was a gaming thing. We talked about it briefly, but NFTs, I'm just peripherally, hearing about NFTs, and I see that there's a lot of hype over NFT stocks in the market. So personally, I have a lot to learn about that. It was a very good presentation. You're very right to point out the connection of the CEO, David Dorwart, to VIO1, because that's going to play a huge role in terms of sentiment for the stock when the fundamentals aren't there, right? What kind of NFT stock will be picked up, and that's a big point for it. I wanted to ask you about the history of raises, when they'll do the next raise. So what can you tell us about the history of capital raises? Where did they get their funding to date, and where were they typically priced for their warrants, et cetera?
Well, as far as I know, their last funding was like around 3 years ago for about $1 million. And I'm just saying that off the top of my head. I did read through their most recent SEC filing. I think there was a reference to it there, or one of the previous ones. They haven't had any raises because I believe they run a skeleton crew of developers and artists, and their leadership is paid separately. It's paid out of VIO1, and VIO1 has lent them some money. I think also $1 million or so, probably to pay salaries. So to the best of my knowledge, that's my response to your question.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen one more time and bring up the chart. So we got a question from Matt. What caused the stock price increase end of May? Right. So can you tell us a little bit of history of like when did you get in, and do you know any of the history behind these stock movements, both on the upside or downside? Just anything you can tell us about the history here that you might know.
Well, I got in around the first part of July. So it was sub 1 cent or near 1 cent in June, I believe. They first announced that they were going to. That was the first announcement that MICROBUDDIES was on the drawing board, and their projected release date end of September. So they're on schedule. According to that, their PR, I believe they released the PR at that time. I wasn't aware of it at that time, or I paid it no heed. I can't remember. But I started following it just at the end of June, first part of July, and took a position there. Yeah.
Okay.
And it ran up on the hype up to 70, back down mid-August. It retraced that huge percentage advance, and at the bottom, first or second week in August, it was announced that their partnership with the App Factory, which effectively doubled the price from where it was in 2 days. And since then, it's been pulling back on low volume, which has been the pattern since the previous advance as well.
Okay. Great. Want to point out Florian did some cyber sleuthing real quick, and yeah, he said there's some sort of lawsuit in the past against Via One. I don't know if it's active or what the resolution was or how important that is, but worth looking into. Thank you, Florian. So we got to move on. So we're going to open the GMER research group. I threw a link into Florian, says he thinks the lawsuit's not a big deal. So, but anyway, I put the link in there for the chat room. You can also get to that link from the VIP room. So thank you, Michael. We look forward to collaborating with you on this in that room. I'm excited that there's an NFT name now at the story trading community, because I don't know much about it and there's a lot of hype around it. So maybe there's something there. Thank you, Michael. Next week, Sunday and Wednesday, I will not be able to attend for some personal time off. Normally, I guess we would do it on a Monday night since the markets close Monday, but I will not be available Monday or Wednesday next week. The link for happy hour next week will still work. So anyone who wants to join then can do that. So also you can follow us. Please do so at YouTube and Twitter on StoryTrading. And that's the end of our weekly meetup, the VIP stuff. But